This is a lot of notes to unload here. Is it? Was it? What do we know about our standard models? Is there a specific lens somebody's looking through? Is there a marginal utilitarian where the time topology has changed? And this is not something I'm advocating, because it would be a hard place to do, to actually take a 9-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, or an 18-year-old soldier that doesn't know that they're about to be a wounded program or soldier in the same looking into the mirror of the cause of PSTD on the other ends of things that really bring up the question of this dysphoria, or what was the other term? Something gynophilia, phasia. Let's see if I can find it real quick here. Well, at any rate, those are terms. Again, these are crypto words. These are things in this transposition. Well, what is God and the devil, obviously, right? Everybody has the same way of thinking about that as a larger subject, but it is B as well. There are terms when, I don't know, constitution check from Salty, right? Really let you know. You laugh at that rubber chicken? Well, the isomatic crack, you laugh, you cry the wrong way. They're really going to make some big differences. What's stone worth is what I'd tell you. So let's just continue and see if we can get something going here. And those are the M1s, M2s, MNs. That's right. From this point of view, this is the M1 model. From any one of these local sites, we could consider that the M2. But from their perspective, remember, sororities or ladies boot camp over there, they're going to can still say that ladies are A, boys are B, and in the boys camp, boys are B. But in a group state, when you have to be aware of that situation, just by the terminology of that function, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. We were supposed to be trained this function to understand it specifically. It's like, did we do all the time and money in blue phase, red phase, yellow phase, gold phase, black phase, to make sure at some point in time this comes up, or how to augment the conversation to make sure that it goes there correctly. So they're all schools. They're all, to a certain degree, police stations. And believe it or not, they are all medical facilities, even the gas station in town. Except for now the psychological study takes a divergent road when that thing forks into why somebody's there for training, for purposes, business management's going to put you there. This dysphoria, or aphasia, acadasia, when you have a very well lit out plan, writ out, and they push you over the edge, it's going to be a certain idea psychologically. If you knew that standard model, it bored. Instead of somebody just pushing it for the program, that this, when you have state aid systems, these are supposed to be about trainees with a capital position on somebody like JP or something like that being the board tester, because every once in a while it comes up and you can't really trust the standards, so you have to call an outside source to make sure that these calculations are right. Because young Cole here, an amazing case study for the example about, like, there wasn't really much from what I can tell from her dialogue, facial expressions, whereas a young lady, she wasn't just being a young lady. And then, with the missed ideal, their friends, or the culture at large today, there was nothing that pulled that back off of there. She had a plan, she was educated, she had a system inside of it, and then the psychologist called the parents and tell it some suicidal falsityhood when JP exposes the information about specific field training that, as a psychologist, you must at some point in time received before to get the license, because there are things about at pain of losing your license or something like that. I forget exactly the term JP used for it there, but at the pain of you losing your license and potentially malpractice, prison time, that there are these conditional models for. And it's because of our standard template, Army doctrine. It's like these are not negotiable until you find better calc inside here that says that that shouldn't be what it is. And I mean, it really plays out in neck tattoos, smoking marijuana charges, a car accident, whatever it may be, about what could have gone wrong when somebody didn't choose to look at the model or violently go against it in some way for whatever reason. It's like, what are you losing here? So, and again, I'm not trying to segue the principle. I'm trying to run in parallel these polarizing functions that come with this idea can also be a positive notation. Let me give you some other examples because I wrote a few. If I can find them real quick. Okay. Local psychs, are this is an A/B system, and what do I mean by that? Well, there's you're thinking A to B, but there's really an A to a B prime model. It's like I can't get the psychologist I want. I've only been exposed to one psychologist.
They're
When
not
you're
all
an
created the
18-year-old, don't really know. You want to, after her surgery, her mastectomy, she was very happy about what she did. And it wasn't until later that came out to be a problem. You finally got
Put it on a list.
E2, or your promotion to specialist, or E7, or whatever the case may be. But did you really know? Were you just going through the motions because that's what's socially acceptable inside of here? Well, really gauging the math, the system, the area of operations, the grammatics inside of this to really say what you were asking yourself to do. Did you know that there was trainings that they do not give you until that day, and now that you're here, do you really feel so accomplished? Do you feel like the military or the hospital or the culture at large really gave you all the information? See, I'll tell the stonecutters all the time, this is not a secret. Without this information, they don't know how to do the mass gap. And without the mass gap, you don't know station analysis. You don't know